Hey yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome into a brand new episode of the Review at Rob Show. Appreciate you coming over here to hang out with me. Up front, gonna apologize for my voice. A little under the weather. Just came back from a vacation, hit Universal at Disney, ended up getting sick. Normally happens when I go to Disney. Shots fired, Disney. Just kidding. Had an absolute blast at Disney for sure. I don't get sick when I go to Universal and come back, but anyways. But I had a great time there. Got this awesome Lizzie McGuire T-shirt. Had a fantastic time. We'll probably talk about that trip later, but this is a movie show, so we're going to stick to talking movies. On this episode, we're going to be talking the film Wicked. Finally ended up seeing that the day I came back from vacation. Actually went and saw this in theaters. Also got all kinds of news. We got Scream 7 news, Buffy the Vampire Slayer television show news, Clayface news, all kinds of stuff to talk about on this week's episode, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Wicked is this film. There's your poster. The film is rated PG for some scary action, brief suggestive material, and thematic material. It is 2 hours and 40 minutes long and classified as a kids, family, musical, fantasy, adventure film. So with Wicked, and I didn't pull up the synopsis for this, but with Wicked, it basically is the prequel to The Wizard of Oz, the absolute classic, awesomely awesome classic film, The Wizard of Oz, and that story. So this is Wicked, was a Broadway play that has been turned into a musical film. The second one this year. Second one. I know of two at least. Mean Girls came out earlier this year, which I absolutely loved and adored. And Wicked now coming out this year as well. Doing very well at the box office, getting great reviews from people. It's breaking records. It's in the top 10 musical film, grossing musical films of all time. Um, that's without inflation. When you add inflation in, it kind of changes things. But without inflation added, that's where that's at. So this film tells the story of gotta keep pausing because my voice tells the story of geez, I'm losing my voice a lot. Sorry, guys. It tells the story of Elphaba and Glinda, their interactions and growing into each other. Elphaba, of course, being the quote unquote outcast because of her green skin, and Glinda being the popular girl. And the new thing, they go to the university, all that stuff. And I'm going to talk around myself, not to spoil anything of the movie. If you've read the book or seen the show, I guess you kind of understand it because I haven't seen the show. I have no connection to Wicked at all, to be honest with you. I just know it's related to Wizard of Oz. I haven't seen the show. I haven't seen show notes. I haven't seen anything to do with that. I haven't read the book. I haven't watched any clips online or anything like that, man. I was going into this as blindly as you possibly can go into something. Um, as a fan of The Wizard of Oz, I did have interest in the movie. It did take me a while to end up going to see it. There's a lot of other movies that came out around the time of this movie that had my attention. And I don't know, there's just something about Wicked that wasn't pulling me in at the moment. But I was finally like, I'm going to see it, man. I got to see this movie. And, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had a good time with it. Like, I liked it. Um, it 2 hours and 40 minutes does seem long. If I remember what I read correctly, the play itself is that long, and this movie is part one of a two-part film that they're doing. And you don't know that going in. Well, you may know that going in. If you're a casual, you don't know that going in because it's not in the title anywhere. When you're looking up the movie, like Showtimes and all that stuff, it just says Wicked. Now, when you watch the movie in theaters, it does say Wicked Part 1 on there. So just know that going in, it is part one of a part two. So there's a to be continued to happen with this movie. Um, I like the story though. It's interesting to look into, two of these characters that we knew of in the Wizard of Oz if you've seen it, but we don't know the full backstory and how they got there and all that stuff. That's basically what this movie's doing. It's telling us the backstory of these characters that we've met in the Wizard of Oz. Some of the characters, I assume, part two will show us more of those characters, but I like it, man. It's put together well. The songs are fun. I've had that popular song stuck in my head for a while now. Um, it is a captivating story. It did get me to tear up in moments. At least one moment during the film, it got me to get a little misty eyed. So it is well put together. It is a strong film. So I understand why a lot of people have enjoyed this movie this year and everything. There's always that big question mark about musicals. I remember when Mean Girls came out, and Mean Girls wasn't necessarily marketed as a musical either, even though you can kind of guess. I mean, again, casuals probably wouldn't have noticed it, but you can people like myself knew that that was a musical that they were doing, and we knew that was the Broadway show being turned into a movie. And I mean, you just look at the title card; it has the musical symbol in it, so it's like could kind of guessed on that. Um, but that movie did well. Like if I remember correctly, that movie did do well, and made its not a flop or anything like that. And then Joker 2, which has been the highly debated film of the year. We're going to talk about Joker 2 a little bit later when I get to DC section of the show. But that was a musical as well and didn't get rave reviews and wasn't associated. There's like always this kind of this battle now with musicals where it's like people don't like them. I've had no problem with musicals. I like them. I had a good time with them. Pretty much every Disney movie is a musical, right? Um, but Wicked, I think, was very well put together. The performances are very strong in this movie. Um, I'm gonna butcher names, and again, I can barely talk at this moment, anyways, because of my voice. But we're gonna power through this. So, where is the cast of this movie? Jeez. All right, cast. I don't want to. I don't fully know their names. So, cast. All right, let's see. Cynthia Aviro. Messed up her name, I'm sure, but she plays Elphaba in the movie. She does a really good job. Fantastic singer. Love her performance in the movie. She's killing it. And she's given this performance, and it goes to the showing of this movie as well as yes, she's a person with green skin and all that stuff, but it doesn't. It's a part of the story, but doesn't take you out of the movie. If that makes sense. Like you understand and all that stuff, and it just seems to fit and works very well, especially in that world of the Wizard of Oz and everything. Which I give this movie more credit for, is most of it is not CGI. Like they built these sets, like that big thing with all the different color flowers leading up to the uh, Yellow Brick Road and all that stuff. Like that's real, and the town is real, and the college they go to is real, or the university they're at is Shiz University is real. The train is real. Like they took the time to build stuff, and I give a huge applause to any movie that takes the time to do that instead of using CGI. Now, this is not an attack on CGI by any means, but I prefer practical things to CGI, so I give them huge credit for that. Miss Ariana Grande as Glinda in the movie shines. She does fantastic. I've always known her as a good singer. I don't know most of her work other than that. Like I saw her in Victorious, and I haven't listened to her music too much, mostly because she works with that Screwed Brown guy, and I don't like him. Um, so I've avoided her music for the most part. But she's really good in the movie, and I've known that she's a good singer for a while. So I'm not surprised that she did a good job in singing. That she was a huge fan of this and been wanting to play that character for a long time. It's awesome, fantastic. Glad for her to, achieve that dream by all means. And I see in her performance when I was watching the movie, I saw a lot of her performance. Kristen Chenoweth in her performance a lot. And if I remember correctly, I need to look this up. I know Kristen Chenoweth was in Wicked. I believe she was the first ever person to play Glinda. Um, Let me look this up real quick. Kristen Chenoweth. I don't want the popular song. I just want Kristen Chenoweth. Let's see. So Kristen Chenoweth, Wicked. Uh, yeah, yeah, she originated the role on Broadway. So, and I see a lot of Kristen Chenoweth in Ariana Grande's performance. Nothing, not taking anything away from Ariana. If anything, that just shows how good she lived up to playing that character that was originated by Kristen on the Broadway stage. So Ariana's doing great, and again, the songs are good. The story's strong. It's got me interested, very much interested in seeing what part two is going to be. Because again, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Like I did feel long at points, but it also could be I just drove a long time that day and went right to the movie theater when I got back. Pretty much right to the movie theater when I got back. So maybe that had something to do with it. But overall, like pretty strong film, strong performances across the board, especially from those two that I mentioned. The rest of the cast, obviously, very strong in the film as well. Um, I don't fully know what part two is going to be. Um, I don't know if we get into full Wizard of Oz land with it. I know it comes out next year. What is the release date? November 21st, 2025 for next year. And this one came out at the same time, right? Wicked came out. Lord. Sorry, guys. My voice is killing me. All right. Wicked released on November 22nd. So, yeah, basically a year from the release of the first movie. We're gonna get that one, and it leaves you with a good cliffhanger, man. Like I'm on board. I'm on board with what to see there. But yeah, some of the songs are really strong. I'm not gonna overly compare the movies or anything like that. You know, I do. I liked Mean Girls. I liked Wicked. I probably listen to the Mean Girls songs a little bit more than I do Wicked, but both fun movies as far as I'm concerned. Were very well put together films, and I liked it. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. You know, a lot of people again blew that movie up and talked so much about it and how great it is, and I was just took me a little bit to get there to see it, but finally went in there to see it and had a good time with it. I can't wait to see what part two brings if we're bringing in the Dorothy and them into it. I don't know, but I'm excited. Is it going to be 2 hours and 40 minutes as well? Is it going to be that long? Will theaters be showing both of these movies back to back in one long run? Holy crap, that would be awesome. But also, bathroom break is going to be hell. But nonetheless, Wicked, worth the hype as far as I'm concerned. Worth the hype. There's no credit scenes or anything like that. Obviously, you can watch the credits if you want to, listen to the music, and see all the people and things that went into making the movie. But no credit scenes. Just to be continued to part two. So it's good, man. Wicked's a good movie. Wicked is a wicked good movie. I did it. I made that stupid joke. All right. Craven the Hunter. I cannot say the same thing about. Craven the Hunter. I saw day after seeing Wicked, and unfortunately, it lives up to the banner Sony is set with these Spider-Man villain films that they've been doing, where it's just not it. It's got some cool action scenes, like the action scenes are fun in it. Aaron Tyler Johnson, he's doing what he can, but the film just feels messed up. Like it just feels like they decided to. I don't know. It just seems like they kept changing things while making that movie or something. It's hard to explain, but there's just scenes in that movie where I'm like, well, we rushed to that, or that doesn't seem right, or this seems unnecessary. And there's just scenes that are just outlandish, and he's like, I don't need this. And there are multiple scenes I was just laughing and like, this is ridiculous. Other than laughing at a comedic point, just laughing because it's like, yeah, what can you do? And you know me, if you've been with the show for a while, I don't like poo pooing on movies too much. So I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on it. But like, didn't do it for me. Oh, so much so I'm like, did I like Madam Web better? Probably not. But it's in that I liked Morbius more for sure. Um, the Venom films, I've been on record about how I feel about those movies. So yeah, it's supposedly going to be the last Spider-Man villain movie they do, and it. I don't get it. Like I don't get how they continue to mess those things up. I understand to a degree because they are rushing to make those movies because their contract with the rights for the Spider-Man characters and all that stuff. But nowhere in that contract did it say that they couldn't use Spider-Man, and those movies are severely missing Spider-Man. Like, who I don't, we want to see him fight Spider-Man, and I know you could probably say the same thing about a Joker or Penguin. You're like, we want to see Batman, but I never miss out on Batman in those things. Like the Penguin was awesome. They showed the bat signal in the last episode of the Penguin. I'm like, cool, awesome, cool, that works. Like there's just something, and maybe it's the rushingness of those films with the Spider-Man universe villain thing that they were doing, but it's not working. Didn't work. I think they've realized that as well now with the rumors that they're gonna stop doing that. They're gonna start looking at other things. We know Spider-Man 4 has been announced with God, brain is on so much medication. Um, what's his name? Tom Holland. So we know that's happening. We know the animated film is coming. That's been pushed. 2026, 2027, somewhere around there. Um, and then there's the Spider-Man Noir series that's coming to Amazon. So there's stuff happening in the Spider-Man universe to keep them busy, but like this is not by any means anything they need to keep doing. And it feels you feel kind of bad for him. Like, I made a joke to my buddy when I left there. I'm like, Aaron Tyler Johnson needs to call up Ryan Reynolds, see if he can save him, like, Ryan saved the Fox Universe characters, because I like the guy. He's a good actor, but it's like tough situation, man. That movie. Russell Crowe was in this movie, man. Russell Crowe was freaking awesome. Russell Crowe is a fantastic actor. This movie, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm gonna stop because I don't want to continue being negative, but not for me, man. So those are thoughts on those two movies. If you've seen either one, let me know down in the comments what you thought about them. But yeah, Wicked, fantastic movie. Loved it. Pretty solid. Solid movie overall. Let's see. So let's go into some news here. We got a lot of horror news, so I'll start with horror here. First one being that the extremely talented young lady McKenna Grace has joined the cast of Scream. Now, again, if you've been a fan of the show, appreciate you, first off. Secondly, do you know how I felt about the Scream series lately? Where I've kind of just been over it. And I think that's kind of lessened since I got the Mortal Kombat 1 video game and Ghostface is the character on it. I've been having fun playing as Ghostface on there. So maybe it's lessened just a little bit. Like, I was enjoying those last two Scream movies for the most part. I like the new idea they were going with, especially the last movie where we're following the Carpenter sisters and all that. Now we're back to Nev and her character, and we're going to showcase her daughters because they've cast some people as a daughter and all that stuff. Don't know who McKenna's playing. Maybe she's one of the ghost faces. Who knows? But she's a great actress. Like, she's been good in pretty much everything I've seen her in. Most recently, you've probably seen her in the Ghostbuster movies. But she's a talented lady. Going back, you can go back to the freaking Annabelle film. Um, Annabelle Comes Home. She's in that. Like, she's a solid actress. So that picks up that film a little bit for me to where I'm like, okay, we'll see how it goes. Like, obviously, I'm going to see it. um, but it's like, I don't know. That's changed my interest level a little bit because I know at least we've got her and she's talented in it, right? So, and nothing against Nev. Nev is obviously good at what she does, and that's her character, and it's her series, if you will. But just so tired of that story. I don't know. I don't know, man. But that's big news. We're gonna get her back. Other casting news in the horror realm. It looks like Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are returning for the I Know What You Did Last Summer film that's being worked on. Maybe that'll help it out. Uh, the series did not do well. There was a show that did not do too well. So much so that I forgot it even happened. Um, but maybe that'll help that movie out. I don't know what their roles will be. I don't know I know what their roles will be, obviously, but I don't know if how much time they're going to spend in the movie will be. Like, we got to see if there's just a cutaway character or something like that, or if they're going to be treated with some kind of importance. We'll see. It could either go Halloween with Laurie Strode returning, or it can go the Texas Chainsaw Massacre debacle on Netflix. So we'll have to wait and see. But I guess good for them returning. I don't know. It's what it is, right? It is what it is over there. What else do we have here? Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, Miss Gellar, who is wife of before mentioned Freddie Prinze Jr. She, of course, famously got her big break with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a show that a lot of people love. And for the longest time, when asked, she has said that she wasn't interested in doing a reboot or a continuation or anything like that for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. However, on a recent appearance of the Drew Barrymore show, we love her. Before mentioned Scream film franchise, she is of course in there. Sarah Michelle Gellar said, "quote I always used to say no because it's in its bubble and it's so perfect, but watching and seeing Dexter and realizing there are ways to do it definitely does get your mind thinking. Well, maybe." Um, she's currently on the Dexter original Sin show, so. And I'm not 100% sure what that is. I don't know if that's a continuation of Dexter or what, but it's interesting. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I have not watched a lot of. Watched like the first two episodes of the show not too long ago. Like, it hit an anniversary, hit some kind of anniversary. I'm like, I'm gonna finally watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watched those two episodes, enjoyed it, haven't gone back. And again, if you've been with the show for a while, watching TV shows are not my strong suit. um, but I did enjoy it. I think she's great. I like Sarah Michelle Gellar. I don't have any issues with her. Um, so yeah, if they wanted to reboot it, I know there's a lot of people that are big fans of that series, and there is the Joss Whedon aspect, I guess, that you would run into there. Yeah, that might be a problem. But if they decide to do another uh, reboot or not reboot, continuation, be continuation, right? They decide to do that, more power to them, man. Like I don't know how that show ended, so I don't know if it'll be a problem with her coming back or not coming back or being there or not. I don't know. It does seem like a big character that hasn't they haven't done anything Buffy in a while, have they? Like the show was the last thing, right? They haven't done have they done a Buffy movie? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. I know the Buffy movie from the 90s. I'm not stupid. I know that movie. Um, let's see. Buffy. Yeah, Buffy movie. Have they done a new one? Like, what's going on with Buffy? Nothing. There's nothing, right? Untitled Buffy theatrical reboot. A revisiting and relaunch of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer film was announced in May 2009. That obviously didn't happen. Um, yeah, I guess not. All right. Guess there hasn't been anything. If I'm missing it, I'm missing it. It's not coming up easily, so doesn't want to be found. Um, but I'm here for it, man. If they want to do a Buffy Vampire Slayer, why not? I love that movie. I've seen that movie plenty of times. That movie's freaking fantastic. Um, all right, well that's it for horror, spooky stuff. Let's go to DC. Yeah, I'll have confirmation that a Clayface movie is in the works with Mike Flanagan writing. Mike Flanagan sent out a tweet a number of years ago talking about how he wanted to do a Clayface thing, and he's going to be writing it. Looks like he won't be able to direct it because he's working on The Exorcist, but he will be writing the film. Clayface will release on September 11th, 2026. So release date for it. Now that is a character that is a Batman villain. Dates back to the 40s. Um, like a washed up actor character. And then in like the 60s, he got the that's where I was first introduced that he has shape shifting abilities. So a cool character. I've seen him in video games, animated series, and all that stuff. Coming to the live action movie screen will be pretty cool. Um, I like Mike Flanagan. I like the stuff he's worked on. I'm anticipating what he does with The Exorcist as a fan of that film. And I like his shows that he's done on Netflix and all that stuff. So I trust him. And of course, James Gunn has got trust in him. That's a good thing there as well. So more power to him on that. Creature Commandos is out now. So make sure you check that out. They're releasing episodes weekly. Um, and something else that has released that is now available for you to watch, and I mentioned it earlier briefly, is Joker Folie à Deux, also known as Joker 2, which is currently streaming on Max. Yeah, it's the much debated film, and I'm interested. Jesus, can't talk. Interested to see how things changed. So I remember when the Flash first came out, and um, on streaming, a lot of people changed their opinions on that movie from the negative to the more positive aspect. So we'll wait to see what happens with Joker 2 and everything over there. Um, what has come out is that Quentin Tarantino likes the movie. He liked it the first time he saw it, and then a lot of people, fanboys on the internet, those losers have attacked him for liking that movie because that's the thing people do. Because again, losers. You're allowed to like whatever movie you want to like. Don't care what the internet says to you. So he's commented on that and all that stuff. Like it's so weird that people are like that, but it's what it is, man. You either like a movie or you don't like a movie. You don't have to attack somebody because they don't like a movie or they do like a movie. That's just ridiculous. But Joker 2 is out now on Max for you to check out if you want to check it out. I say go into it with an open mind. Let's see. Other bits of news to touch on before we get out of here. Disney has announced another one of their animated films is being turned into a live action movie. We are now getting a Tangled live action movie. Finally, people have been wanting a Tangled live action movie for a while, and they've been doing fan castings with Amanda Seyfried as Rapunzel and Cher as the mom and all that stuff. But I don't know if that's going to happen now. It's been so many years. But Tangled is the next live action film that they will be working on to release. So we'll have the Greatest Showman filmmaker Michael Gracie behind it, which The Greatest Showman is a fantastic movie. So got some faith there in that stuff. As far as Disney live action stuff goes, very hit and miss for me. I do have can't see it. It's right off camera. I do have a Cruella poster over there. I loved that movie. I don't look at that as much as a live action version of the 101 Dalmatians movie because obviously it's a different story and all that stuff. Beauty and the Beast, I liked that one. Um, there's a lot of them. I can't remember all of them right now. So head sick right now, but it's it's a thing that Disney's not going to stop doing. We have Mufasa coming out this week as they're recording this episode. I do plan on seeing that. Um, as long as they keep making money, they're going to be there. We have Snow White coming out next year, which I know I'm excited for. Um, it is going to have some issues. And people are going to hate on it because it stars a young, talented lady who speaks her own opinions. But the internet's always going to internet. Tango, and I'm interested to see how they make that work because obviously, the character has a lot of long hair. So obviously, a lot of CGI part of that. Who they end up casting, I don't know. Obviously, it'll be some young people. A lot of people hate what's his name? Zachary Levi. A lot of people don't like him now. He was Finn, right? So I don't know where they go with that. You could probably get Mandy Moore. You would want, I guess you'd want young people in the movie, right? You'd want young people, so you can't really cast the voice actors. You can have them and have like a guest role somewhere in the movie or something like that. But I hope it works out. That's where I could go with it. I don't know. I like Disney. Obviously, I just went to the theme parks. I wish them the best, obviously, but I don't know. We have to see how all these live action things end up turning out. Let's see. A new Meet the Parents film is in the works for that franchise. Early talks have begun with Universal Pictures for a new Meet the Parents film. This, of course, Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro. Those movies, I've watched all of them at least once. Had some good laughs with them. Revisiting be cool. Ben Stiller seems to be coming back lately. I've seen him in more things lately than I haven't seen him. It seemed like he went away for a little bit, but looks like Ben Stiller's on the way back. And that's cool. As 90s, early 2000s, Ben Stiller was killing it. So be glad to see him back. Meet the Parents is fun. So we'll see how that goes. And then last thing to touch on, Sonic 3 is coming out this week as well. So there's been a lot of press and interviews and all that stuff. And Jim Carrey's been doing them, of course. Love Jim Carrey. And he was asked about the Grinch because obviously it's holidays time. And while we're on that aspect, the holidays and Sonic 3 is kind of taking a cue from the Child's Play remake because when that Child's Play remake was coming out, they were making out these fun little posters where they were doing like Toy Story and stuff like that. Um, Sonic 3 has been doing holiday movies, like classic holiday movies, making posters out of those things. And one of them they did was Jim Carrey's house. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which was an awesome poster. They also did Christmas Vacation, all that stuff. So he was asked about the Grinch, obviously, and I met the Grinch at Universal Studios. Fantastic experience. Um, he was asked about doing it, if he'd do a sequel to the Grinch, and he said, "quote Oh my gosh, if we could figure out the Grinch. The thing about it is, on the day I do that with a ton of makeup and can hardly breathe, it was an extremely excruciating process. The children were in my mind all the time. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. And now with motion capture and things like that." I could be free to do other things. Anything is possible in this world. So obviously he doesn't want to do the makeup again. That was an excruciating process for him. And I don't know if we need it. Like as much as I love that film, and that film is a mandatory watch for me every single Christmas. I don't I what do you do? What is the story with a Grinch 2 that you need to tell? Like, does he and Martha May have a kid? Is the kid being bullied, and we're just gonna do the Grinch all over again with the kid? I don't know. But it's nothing that needs to be made. But with that said, if they do it, I'm obviously going to be there opening day because I love Jim Carrey and I support what Jim Carrey does. And that's why I'm going to go see Sonic 3. Like, I don't have much. I'm a kid who played those games. I love that character of Sonic. But the movies, I don't even know if I've seen the second movie, to be honest with you. Um, I don't remember the first movie all that much either. So it's one of those things where I'll see it for Jim Carrey, especially in theaters. Now that I have more of an opportunity to go to theaters and all that stuff, didn't have that much when the other movies came out. Um, I want to support to see it, and I think it'll be fun to see, of course. But I can't say I'm highly anticipating it. But that and Mufasa, I will see this week. At least that's on the plan. It's on the plans. Again, I apologize. I'm dealing with nonsense right now. But what are we talking about? Grinch. I don't know a need to see the Grinch 2. I don't know any reason for them to make a Grinch 2. But if they want to do it, cool. More power to them. I mean, if Jim Carrey's going to be doing sequels, friggin' Ace Ventura, Mask, those stuff could be fun. I don't know what else. Nothing else. It did a sequel to Dumb and Dumber. Um, is there? I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm not feeling the best. But that is that is the news, man. So again, quick review for Wicked and Kraven the Hunter. Hit both of those on this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought of those movies. And the news around Scream. I know what you did last summer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's a huge show for a lot of people. Are you excited about the possibility of that coming back? Clayface is getting a movie with Mike Flanagan attached. Joker Folie Adieu is out now for you to check out on streaming and make your own opinions about. Which again, I highly, highly, highly implore everybody to make your own opinions on movies. Yes, you can ask other people their thoughts on it. Yes, you can look up reviews. Uh, yes, you can look at Rotten Tomato scores if you want to, but don't let those things deter you from seeing a movie. We all have our own values and our own tastes in films. And I'm sorry, but looking at a Rotten Tomato score and be like, I'm not going to see that movie makes zero sense to me. I've never understood that. And I'll never understand that. Um, and there's so many movies I love that Rotten Tomatoes has given terrible scores to. So I can care the flip less about a Rotten Tomatoes score. I can care less about box office amount of money a movie's made. I make opinions on my own about movies, and I implore you all to do the same thing. Again, if you want to look at all that stuff, cool, more power to you. But go watch the movie and make up your own opinion on it. If you end up hating it and thinking it's bad as everybody else, cool, that's your prerogative. But you might end up loving the thing, so give it a chance. So yes, Joker 2 is out now for you to check out. And anything else? No. Yes. No. That's it. Um, might be Trip Talk somewhere at some point in time. I don't know. Um, probably gonna be making other channels for the show as well because I do plan on doing some video gaming gameplay, mostly WWE 2K, and um, some Halloween Horror Nights talks. And obviously, algorithms on YouTube doesn't work too well with doing different things on one thing. So that's why I say this is primarily a movie show here. And those other things will be their own entities. Look for those in 2025 as things are being planned. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. As always, appreciate you taking any amount of time to listen to me ramble on. I appreciate, especially on this episode, trying to get through this sniffling and all this nonsense that's going on with me. Um, but I appreciate y'all. And just remember, as always, be kind to yourself and to everyone out there. But be kind to yourself. Treat yourself better. Trust yourself. You're made of incredible things. Trust yourself. Embrace those dreams. Chase those dreams because you are capable of amazing, amazing things. You truly do matter. You truly are important. And remember that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Ugh. Sorry. I'll talk to you all next episode.